We have built a journey to implement the ordering food use case. When the user inputs an utterance that the bot is trained on, the bot triggers the journey and asks the user to choose a cuisine. Let us look at a few variations in the user utterance that has not been used to train the bot. The utterance that was input can be modified to specify a cuisine or a food item. With this variation in the utterance, the bot is able to trigger the journey. But the bot is still prompting the user to choose a cuisine even though the user has already specified the cuisine in the utterance. This is because the bot is not yet trained to understand the new words specified in the utterance. This can also be seen by testing the utterance in the Tools section. We can see that the bot is mapping this utterance to the related intent with a confidence score that is slightly impacted with the words that the bot is not trained on. However, this score is still higher than the minimum confidence configured for the bot and is good enough for the bot to trigger the mapped journey. However, the response is not appropriate here and it would be ideal for the user to see only those options that they asked for. Entities can be useful in training the bot to identify and extract specifics in a user utterance as a particular value. The platform uses named entity recognition, through which the underlying natural language processing engine learns how to extract entities from texts. Entities can be classified as global entities and custom entities. Global entities are recognized by the bot even without a training because of the intelligence of the underlying NLP engine. The meaning of these entities remain the same irrespective of the journeys that we create to implement our use case. These include date, time, names of locations, countries and continents, among many more. The knowledge base of the NLP engine determines the number of global entities that the bot is trained on. The entities that we configure on the platform are custom entities. Custom entities can be of three types: text, list, and regular expressions. Using the text entity, we can train the bot on a single value. The list entity type can be useful when we have a known set of values and would like the bot to be trained on the entire list. Each list value can be mapped to a set of synonyms. The regular expression type of entity can be used to identify values belonging to a pattern. This can be useful when we do not have a set of values, but we know that the values belong to a particular pattern. We can define that pattern using a regular expression, and any user input matching this pattern will be identified as this entity. In our use case, if we would like to link each food order created with a unique order ID, we can define a pattern when creating the entity. In the NLU section, we can train the bot on entities as well. Click on Add New Entity in the Entities page and give the entity a name. Let us create an entity of type list and call it cuisine. We can add the offered cuisines as values in this list. We can also add different synonyms to each value in the list. After specifying all the possible values as aliases, we can click on Add Entity. Once this entity is added, click on Train Entities button. Retrain the bots on intents as well. After the training is complete, we can test the utterance again in the Tools section. If the utterance contains an entity that the bot is trained on, then the entity is detected. We can now leverage the bot's understanding of this entity to make a configuration in the order food flow to skip the execution of a step if the entity is part of the user utterance. The Quick Replies node houses a configuration icon which we can click and choose to auto-skip the execution of this prompt if a particular entity is found. After adding the trained entity, click on Save. Let us trigger this journey with an utterance containing the trained entity. The bot will skip the execution of the Quick Replies node and execute the carousel prompt containing the food items belonging to the user's specified cuisine. This will be the bot behavior for all the values configured as a list item in the entity.